Hi guys, thanks for joining us on this live session where we are now going to focus on the elections, the crucial fight that is coming up on 21st October, and we are beginning our analysis with the state of Haryana. I'm Deepavali and with me is my colleague
Anubhuti Gaur.
And today, of course, we're focusing on Haryana, where Anubhuti has been over the
the
last
ground.
few days. She's been through the dust and grime, and well, she's wiser about Haryana than I am. So let's quickly, get to know from her what the overall situation in the state is like. You've witnessed the mood on the ground. You've been speaking to the people. You've been doing these various chopals. So Anubhuti, if you can tell us, what are the people really thinking in Haryana?
Well, yes, if you see that these elections in the state of Haryana and Maharashtra, if you see, these are kind of a litmus test for the BJP government again, because post Lok Sabha elections, these are the first assembly elections.
Yes.
And BJP in Haryana is saying that they are going to get more than 75 seats. And if you talk about the candidates themselves, they say that I went to and I spoke to Naresh Kaushik, who's fighting from the Bahadurgarh constituency, and where he said that BJP might get even 90 seats. So you see, at this point of time, the BJP is very confident because the Congress is kind of in a crisis.
Yes.
INLD has lost some ground post the divide. And if you see, there are a lot of independents also in the fray. And if you look at Charkhi Dadri, that is one constituency that has kind of become got a celebrity status because of Babita Phogat, the Dangal girl who's fighting elections.
Absolutely, you associate Haryana with Dangal, you associate it with wrestling, and of course the entire Beti Bachao Beti Padhao program started from there. So that is why we are talking about Charkhi Dadri in particular, which Anubhuti again visited and had this conversation, really interesting conversation with Babita Phogat. She will tell us more about it, but that is the focus for us is Charkhi Dadri because
today we
this
will give an
Beti
analysis
campaign
of
is really at the forefront. Even the Prime Minister has been really beating about it in yesterday's rally as well. So can you tell us more about Charkhi Dadri? It's risen to the focus because of Babita Phogat mainly, and who are the candidates surrounding her? What?
Well, yes, Babita's entry into the politics, till now she was just in the wrestling ring, and now she is in the political ring. She was till now only wrestling with the wrestlers, and now she is wrestling with the political wrestlers. So I got a chance to speak to her. Of course, we all have a lot of expectations from her. We do realize that she is new to politics. She just joined the BJP, and now she's in the poll fray. She's fighting from the Charkhi Dadri constituency. But if you see, it is a four-cornered contest in Charkhi Dadri.
Right.
It is JJP's Satpal Sangwan, who's a strong candidate. Then we have Babita Phogat from the BJP. Then from the Congress, we have the Nirpendra Sangwan. And the most interesting candidate, if you see, is one of the BJP rebel candidate, Sombir Sangwan, who in the 2014 elections, he had almost won. He was only short of 1,610 votes. So you see,
nothing.
So if you see in these particular elections, he is contesting an independent candidate, and he will be a bigger challenge for the BJP as he had fought from the BJP in the last elections as well. Right. So I think at this point of time, so she is campaigning a lot, and the Prime Minister himself had come to Charkhi Dadri to campaign for her, to address a rally for her. So there we see the BJP is putting in a lot of effort behind Babita Phogat, because I think they do realize the fact that she does not have any kind of political experience at this point of time.
Absolutely, and she's facing off with the 3 or 4 more experienced candidates. So like you said, she has experience on the wrestling mat, but not in the political ring, and she's a complete novice when it comes to politics, and she's got these opponents who've been there, done that, tested the political waters. So tell us more about this candidate from last time, the BJP rebel, who's also challenging Babita this time around, and he won. He lost by just a very thin margin.
Yeah, very thin margin.
So he's the main opponent for Babita from this constituency. Is that correct? And the last time when this candidate won, was it because of the Prime Minister's charisma, or was it because of on his own strength? Because this time, like you said, the Prime Minister is campaigning in Charkhi Dadri, and mainly it is to support Babita's campaign, support her candidature. So will the Prime Minister's charisma work? And if it works, then Babita might just as well score a win, or
a gold again.
A gold again. Yes. So was it the Prime Minister who really helped?
So basically, if you see, you look at these assembly elections, what we need to realize is that post abrogation of Article 370, BJP looks at itself as a very stronger party.
Right.
It is really trying to again and again in all the rallies talk about Article 370, and what we need to understand that sometimes people do not even focus on the real local issues, and
Yes,
they
absolutely.
are focusing on issues like NRC,
Yes.
how they are actually praising PM Modi on the abrogation of Article 370. So when I went to the ground, my only question to people was that what are the issues that they are facing in their areas. So if you look at Charkhi Dadri, across, even if you visit the villages, you visit the main town of Charkhi Dadri, the major issue that I felt was that people there are facing is of unemployment. So that was major concern, that on one hand they feel that they have been promised by the political leaders, by PM Modi or the Chief Minister, that how more jobs will be created.
Right.
But at the same time, I went to this particular village, Nimli village, where there are youth in the entire village who have not had any kind of work for 5 years. They have the degrees and yet they're sitting at home. They're forced to do something that like driving cars or working as laborers. So on one hand, they are expecting from the government to talk about the real core issues that they are facing than just than just the national issues.
Right.
And also, like if we talk about how Babita Phogat is campaigning, though at one point, of course, she is an inspirational figure for the women of Haryana, for the women of the country,
Absolutely.
how she has won the gold,
Yes.
and how she's inspired all women in Haryana to step out of their house as well and do something different and not be under the pressure of the society.
Yes,
But
yes.
on the other hand, we do realize that already she has somewhere quoted controversy already, how
Oh,
she's
yes.
backed Khattar's
Khattar
comment.
on his comment about
Yeah.
bringing Kashmiri brides to Haryana,
Yeah.
because we know about its dismal sex ratio. So kind of balance that, he was, as a joke, however, he shouldn't have been,
Yeah.
joking about such a topic,
Yeah.
especially when people in Jammu and Kashmir are going through such hard times. Him saying something like, now that Article 370 is gone, you can bring brides from Kashmir. That is
Yeah.
extremely distasteful, and I believe you also grilled Babita Phogat on that. And we have to give it to her that she's small fry in the party. She's just making a political plunge, but even then,
But at the same time,
there are principles
Yeah.
you stand
at
by.
the same time, when you talk about women rights, when you talk about inspiring more women,
Yeah, and when
you-
you're the icon for
Icon.
women empowerment.
when
then-
somewhere when you BJP is fielding Babita Phogat from Charkhi Dadri, and BJP has been saying that Haryana has been more successful in Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. On the other hand, you're kind of making such irresponsible, shameful comments about women, where you're saying that women can be like till now women were only brought from Bihar, and now they can also be brought from Kashmir. So I did ask her a lot on that how does she justify that? Because as a politician as well, somewhere it has to be her responsibility as well. That she has to ensure that even if she is contesting polls, she has to ensure that other politicians from her party have to act in a more responsible manner.
Absolutely, she has to have an opinion on it, and I believe when you grilled her, she wanted to evade the question.
Yeah, I think I did feel a little bit that she wanted to evade it. Also, if you look at this is a time when elections are just round the corner. It's on the 21st of October, and this is the time when the politicians, the candidates, want to be most careful about not making any kind of controversial remarks, because at this juncture, what I feel is that she's just banking on one thing: her image, her celebrity status, and that is the reason why. And at one point, she does not have any kind of political experience. So yes, she needs to convince people that she's going to bring some sort of change to Haryana, some sort of change to Charkhi Dadri, and that is what she has to convince. And at this point of time, I feel that she's trying to stay away from all kind of controversies, so that whatever she has to answer, if she would do that post 21st of October.
Yes, at least she can test her, test the waters, see what the outcome is before taking on such tall leaders of her party like the Chief Minister himself, ML Khattar. But while Babita Phogat can't, speak out against Khattar, a man like Khattar, we also had the Prime Minister and his entire party, other senior leaders of the BJP who were tried to evade what Khattar said about the Kashmiri women. I mean, there was no really clarification.
Also, if you look at this is not the first time that Khattar has made such sort of comment against women. Last year, if we remember, he made another comment about rape, where he said that 80 to 90% of the cases of rape cases, the guy, the man and the woman, they know each other, and only when things go wrong later, it is termed as rape. So that way, it was a very shocking remark coming from the Chief Minister for State, how he was defending something like rape.
Rape, absolutely. And Qatar, it shows how misogyny runs really deep in the state of Haryana, and that is one state that the BJP has been trying to focus on. That is one state where the Prime Minister began this Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign, and he says that it became a success because villages came forward. So we do hope to see that change in Haryana.
I think at this point of time, let us also play that bite for our viewers and show them that what was her reply when I was asking her constantly that how does she justify Khattar's comment on bringing Kashmiri women or the rape comment. So let's just take a look at that. I think there's some issue in the bite.
Right. So we will post that for you later, or you can catch it on our website as well.
Yeah.
But clearly, I mean, what you remember from that snippet of conversation was Babita evading it, Babita trying to skirt that issue and
actually
talk about...
she outrightly said that there's nothing wrong with the comment, and that is the problematic part.
All right.
Like
she says there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. Actually, this is
How
not the
does she
first.
justify it?
So this is not the first time that she says that the media has not really portrayed it correctly.
Okay.
So I told her that there's nothing wrong with the way media has portrayed it. I think there's something wrong with the way Chief Minister himself has said it.
Absolutely.
He has to act in a more responsible manner.
Yes, yes. He did actually refer to that comment. He said it was made as a joke, but there is absolutely nothing really funny about it. He was talking about the sex ratio in Haryana and how they need to improve it.
See, what I feel is that at one point, if you're saying that you can get women from Kashmir, why aren't you saying that women from Haryana will now be free to marry men? Like, why are you comparing?
It's very... I mean, this kind of language, this kind of thought process really doesn't suit a public representative.
So I think,
of the stature of the
so I think, be it the national elections, be it the assembly elections, be it the Haryana elections or the Maharashtra elections, what is pretty clear is right now is that they are banking on Prime Minister Modi's image. Now, if we talk about, when I spoke to Naresh Kaushik, who's a sitting MLA from Bahadurgarh, even he was saying, he was all talking about how only the BJP government abrogated Article 370 and how he was trying to downplay the fact that Rahul Gandhi, who was being criticized for his foreign tour, how he was not present in the states of Maharashtra and Haryana, and how he was, now that he was campaigning, how BJP is trying to downplay the entire thing, that they are calling it that Congress has entirely failed. They're saying INLD does not exist. So BJP is somewhere trying to portray in Haryana that is only the BJP that exists. There's only one that has done everything for the country, for the state. But if you look at the ground, on the ground reality, there are issues that people are facing. Like, for example, some other villages, Mehendipur village that I went to, even in that village, people were complaining about the fact that there is some, the job growth, again, a major issue, then clean drinking water, then if you look at other villages, then transportation, there are certain small issues that do exist.
Of course, civic issues always, rankle people, employment issues, women's safety as well, I suppose.
Exactly.
And so what are these, areas that the opposition parties are picking on to say that, look, the BJP has failed in these areas, and so vote for us so that we can bring more development in these particular areas for you?
Well, of course, law and order, if you see the amount of crime, there are certain areas across Haryana where crime is on the rise, and even till now, there is lack of law and order, though the government claims that they will be. The government claims that everything is normal, everything is under control, but we see that in every rally, in every campaign, every candidate only talks about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They only talk about abrogation of Article 370. They only talk about how BJP government is always giving a befitting reply to Pakistan and how Congress has always failed. How they say that job growth is only...
So they're bringing the larger picture, like that was the focus in the Lok Sabha elections. But it'll be interesting to watch if that kind of a conversation or narrative really works for a state election, NRC issue, abrogation of Article 370.
Absolutely.
Well, coming back to Charkhi Dadri in particular, because it's the high-profile constituency we are focusing on, and Babita Phogat is our high-profile candidate over there, and the Prime Minister again is trying to promote women empowerment. That is one of the issues that has always plagued Haryana, this low sex ratio, the completely skewed sex ratio, and the fact that women over there are seen as weak. And Babita Phogat appears to be a mascot for the party this time, of the face of the Beti Bachao campaign. So,
but it'll be, I think, interesting to look at that. What is actually I mean, I really want to see what is going to be the outcome on the 24th when the results will be out.
Yeah.
Because what the other candidates from Charkhi Dadri feel is that she does not have any kind of political experience.
yes.
We understand that yes, she has won gold medal for the country. She has been a household name because of the movie Dangal.
Absolutely, yes. And the Prime Minister also said that, you know, the Chinese, in yesterday's rally, that the Chinese President had watched Dangal and he was praising the movie, and so the Prime Minister felt really proud about the fact that women are making strides in Haryana and across India as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch if Phogat can emerge as a winner on her own strength, although that's unlikely because she's a political novice, and or will it be the Prime Minister who really sails her through, as well as perhaps many other candidates in Haryana.
So let's just listen in now. I think we have the bite now, so we can just listen in to what she was her reply when I asked her about Khattar's controversial remarks. I asked her that being an inspiration for all the women in Haryana, for being somebody who's always stood up for the women's rights, where she says that women should be allowed to pursue their dreams, and on one hand we see the Chief Minister of the state himself is using such shameful comments. You cannot justify those comments being as a joke, because that is a very sensitive situation which is there in Kashmir.
Yes.
And so let's listen into what she had to say, how she was kind of defending the entire remark where she said that there's nothing wrong with it. So let's just look at that.
जी की बात करी है, वो यहाँ के चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, लेकिन अभी हाल ही में उन्होंने एक कमेंट दिया था जिन्होंने कि जो ये धारा 370 हटी है कश्मीर से, तो उन्होंने कहा था कि अब हरियाणा में कश्मीर की भी बहुएं आएंगी, तो आपने उसका समर्थन भी किया था। लेकिन आप एक बहुत बड़ी इंस्पिरेशन रही हैं हमेशा यहाँ सारी औरतों के लिए, देश भर की औरतों के लिए, तो आप किस तरह से देखती हैं? आपने उनका बचाव भी किया था एक तरीके से।
देखिए, बचाव नहीं, देख कश्मीर के यहाँ पे आ सकते हैं, यहाँ के कश्मीर में जा सकते, उसमें क्या बुराई है, क्या गलत है? तो उसमें कोई गलत नहीं है। और बचाव यही है कि जो चीज़ सही है वो चीज़ सही होनी चाहिए और दिखानी भी सही चाहिए। नहीं, ऐसे कोई कमेंट्स नहीं था। हर किसी का अपना हक है, और वुमेन्स है या चाहे मेंस हो, हर कोई अपने इंडिपेंडेंस फैसले लेते हैं और आज भी लेते हैं। तो मैं इतना ही कहूँगी कि महिलाओं के सम्मान के लिए मैं हमेशा खड़ी रहती हूँ, और उनको आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, उनको जागरूक करने के लिए हर संभव मैं कोशिश करूँगी जो मैं कर पाऊँगी।
15 minutes, then 5 minutes में we'll wind up.
So she's clearly very troubled there with the question, and clearly we know why, because she's a small fry in the party. She's just testing her luck this time, and completely her inexperience shows. But then again, if you want to be in politics, you have to know how to answer troubling questions. You have to know how to project yourself. If you are representing women, you need to know how to, actually represent them, how to speak up for them.
You actually have to convince the people what you stand for. If today Manohar Lal Khattar has made this kind of comment, then tomorrow maybe again he will make such comment, and again we will ask her again that what is your reaction to it.
Women and girls are looking up to you for inspiration. They're looking up to you to be their voice. So yes, there will be people standing behind you, but then again you have to take that step forward and really speak up.
Well, of course, we know that till now she has only been in the wrestling ring, but now she has to understand that she has finally entered the political ring, and it is not going to be any easy for her from now on. We see that yes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi did campaign for her. It also does make a lot of impact.
Yes.
If the Prime Minister comes to a particular constituency, people look at it in a different manner altogether.
Yeah, immediately there's some more importance attached to that candidate and that particular constituency. Although, you are probably banking on the Prime Minister's strength to come to power, but then again, if the Prime Minister selects your constituency to come campaigning to, that immediately attaches more importance.
But then, the interesting fact here is that the opposition is now using it to attack her further. How she's bringing in the PM to campaign in assembly election for her, how the local issues are being in a way sidelined, and how, because we know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi cannot campaign for every constituency. If he is actually coming to a particular constituency, then also it portrays that somewhere, BJP wants to take no risk.
Yes.
It doesn't want to lose the
seat. They have never won from
so basically Charkhi Dadri seat, if you look at this particular seat, then BJP has never won from this seat, and also never a woman has ever won from this particular constituency. So if Babita Phogat actually wins here from Charkhi Dadri, then this would be like a record.
Yeah,
like
it'll be a
till now
first.
she has been making records in Commonwealth Games, and now
Absolutely.
she will
be,
make.
in her political debut, she will be creating a record.
So, but that will be interesting to look at, because you cannot overlook the fact that there are politicians like Somveer Sangwan who was previously in BJP only,
Right.
and he was about to get ticket in these 2019 elections as well, but all of a sudden it was decided that from Charkhi Dadri, Babita Phogat will be given this particular ticket,
The
and
star
that is why
candidate.
he decided to fight as an independent candidate. So when I went on the ground, there are people who feel that Somveer Sangwan is more of a politician who has worked for the people of Charkhi Dadri, where
the more deserving guy.
a more deserving person. He has been on ground, working on ground since 10-15 years, though. Also, in my interview as well, she pointed out that how she is trying to portray that she is not new to politics at all.
How is that?
She says that she has always been associated to ground. Her woman has been part of in kind of lower level politics.
Okay.
How her father was also a part of a political party. So she's trying to portray that being in a wrestling ring and being in a political ring is different
not
for
so
her.
different from each other.
So she's trying to kind of act like, I mean, she's trying to portray more confidence. She's trying to act a little confident that I am not new to politics.
She has some experience.
Some experience. That I am not.
But I mean, the primary focus remains that she is Haryana ki beti.
Haryana ki beti. Actually, yes. I also spoke to a lot of women in the villages where they also said that they have believed in politicians in the past who have promised a lot of things. Politicians do come when they need votes.
Yes.
But they do not see them after that. So somewhere they see Babita as a different candidate altogether who has not been in the politics so far. So they there is some section of the Haryana crowd who also want to give Babita Phogat one chance, because in a way she has transformed the image of Haryana.
Absolutely.
Especially, and she has actually given hope for all the women in Haryana, which is a big thing. And also we see that she has a movie. She's a household name. There's not a single person in the country who doesn't know Babita Phogat.
Absolutely.
The Phogat sisters.
They rose to fame overnight, especially not sidelining their achievements, but because of that movie, Amir Khan had movie Dangal. They were even an international sensation. Even the Chinese, I believe, the movie did really well there. So everybody knows the Phogat sisters.
But at the end, we cannot really understand what will a voter think when he'll go to vote.
Will star power trump experience,
or is it the Prime Minister's charisma, the way he's pushing for Babita Phogat, how he's come to campaign for her? That is definitely going to give her some brownie points over other candidates. That is something that cannot be ruled out completely.
Yes.
But yes, it would be interesting to look at whether the BJP rebel, who actually lost by just 1610 votes, which is a very small margin, Somveer Sangwan, whether he emerges as the winner in these elections or not, because that is the interesting part that we'll see, whether a person who has been with the people of Haryana
and worked for them, whether that person emerges stronger or
you never know, or you can never know. It could be the other two parties as well.
It could be anybody.
It could be the JJP's Satpal Sangwan. It could be the Congress's Nirpen Sangwan.
But
it is
what is most interesting to watch once again will, I guess, once again be the Modi factor, whether it works or whether that's kind of fading away.
So we see Babita Phogat is actually in a wrestling ring. There are 4 corners, 3 Sangwans and 1 Babita Phogat.
Yes, and well, somewhere there's the Prime Minister Modi also.
And also all 4 are the new candidates in a way that the Rajdeep Phogat is not even contesting this time. The sitting MLA is not contesting this time.
Interestingly, he backed out of the contest.
Basically he cited some personal reasons why he's not contesting. So it'll be interesting to look at. And also one interesting fact about Charkhi Dadri that I would like to tell the viewers is that no political party has won the elections consecutively. It has always been one or the other. It has never been the same party twice. And also always the second candidate, all the candidates, they lose only by a margin of votes. So even if somebody wins, it'll be interesting to look at what is the margin of votes.
Absolutely. We will be keeping an eye on that, Charkhi Dadri in particular, and obviously we will keep coming back to you with more constituencies over the next couple of days until the D-Day, that is 21st and 24th, when we finally know the results. So stay tuned with us and do keep pouring in your comments. Even after this live session, we will be happy to answer the questions you have. Anubhuti, of course, has been to Haryana. She's
Yeah.
spoken to the people there. So send in your questions and we will get back to you.
Thanks for watching.